All right, everybody. How are you doing? Normally we've got a nice intro that leads us in thanks to Rob Machado, but we are working on some technical challenges this week. I'm on location up in the North Carolina mountains, so we are grabbing every bit of bandwidth we can from a few thousand feet up. And my fantastic co-host, the greatest in all the land, is dealing with some pretty nasty weather. So we're gonna freaking gut this thing out. We're gonna Daniel Jones after a concussion this thing, and we're gonna make it happen. So welcome everybody to Yards After the Catch. Thanks to Rob Machado. Go stream his stuff at Verb Nation, Reverb Nation, and hopefully we'll get the outro to play and you'll get to hear some of his music. But you guys know what it sounds like. You guys have been here before. So welcome to Yards After the Catch. Roop, there it is. How the hell are things going?
Yeah, weather is going to be pretty crazy here tonight, but that's okay. But I'm 3-4, on my leagues this week, and it's because I'm
I hate you.
I beat the host, by the way, but I'm a failed manager because I still could have won all of them. And get ready for college chaos a little bit later because I might lose this glorious beard, and that's how deep my picks are. And I'm willing to bet.
Whoa. You're putting the beard on the line this week?
Beard on the line.
Wow. All right. Well, this is should we just go straight to college chaos, man? Okay, so that's a cliffhanger in itself right there. So we'll just get into the NFL this week because honestly it's week 8, so halfway point coming up for the NFL, even though there's an extra week. So most people probably won't call it the halfway point to like the Thursday night game of week 9 or something, but we're almost to the halfway point. You're at the halfway point for your fantasy seasons, either this week or you just hit it. So your rosters are probably fairly good. We just dealt with probably one of the worst bye weeks I can remember in recent history. Just so many powerful teams, so many players gone. I was lucky enough to lose every single league this week, so that was fantastic. Thanks, bye week. So I'm looking forward, probably like you, to getting week 8 started and getting my players back and getting back on track towards the playoffs. So some of the big news this week that's going to lead into the waiver targets, and we don't just regurgitate the information that everybody else is putting out, just saying the same things over and over and over. I don't even look at that stuff most of the time until after I've done my picks, just to see who they might be talking about, to see if it's a good idea or not a good idea, because I know that's who you guys are looking at as well, to see if it's a good idea or not a good idea. We know that Adams is out on the COVID list. And a lot of people, a lot of the sites, because they just regurgitate everybody's information. And this just proves that they do, because you can go on a lot of sites and they're still recommending you grab Lazard for this week. Well, guess what, everybody? Lazard also has COVID, and he's not going to be there Thursday either. So it would not be a good idea to go out and grab Lazard for Adams, because they both have COVID. This is why you watch Yards After the Catch, to get this type of information, so you don't listen to the other sites, the guys who aren't doing the work like we do, and they just tell you to go pick up Lazard even though he's got COVID. That's not going to help you. So Adams out with COVID, Lazard out with COVID. Valdez-Scantling might be back. He could be a nice stream for this week if you're dealing with bye week players, or Cobb as well, with Adams out. Even with Lazard back, I'm telling you not to grab him. He had a great week. He's done some fill-in stuff, but Lazard's not going to be someone you're going to want to grab or put on your roster anyway. So you're not missing that. But if you need something for this week, Valdez-Scantling coming back on Thursday, and Cobb would be a nice stream as well. Everybody, a lot of people are now this is the problem. So a lot of us have Judy on our IR roster. I have him in a couple different teams. You likely do too. Judy is back. Yes. You need to make room. Oh, crap. Okay. You got to have to pull somebody off to bring Judy back. They've got some good matchups. They've got Washington coming up, who's given up the most points to wide receivers this season. So if Judy's coming back, make some room, get him on your roster. Just be prepared. There might be a little lag there. He's had obviously quite a few weeks off, but I expect high usage. I don't think they'd bring him back unless he was ready to go. I think he is going to be ready to go. And versus Washington, that's going to give him a good chance to get warmed up nice and quick. What do you think, Roop?
I think with somebody coming back, you got to watch out for him. I don't know if certain players are taking over that position. He's a great player, but I would just temper expectations. Let him get the feel for the game, get up to football shape before you start throwing him into a lineup.
Yeah. Um, Also, so we just got a question. So we're gonna definitely want your questions. We're gonna feed those in as we go. Aurora wants to know why Metcalf doesn't get any flags. The, the weather was really bad, and maybe the refs just couldn't see it. I'm not sure. Maybe there's a bad weather. I don't know. Fine print thing there or something that you get away with more stuff in bad weather. I don't know Aurora why Metcalf wasn't getting any flags from the refs, but that's the way the oblong ball bounces.
Yeah, there was they kept showing the replays over and over, and it was getting pretty nasty out there. Not even talking the weather, and it hurt a little bit to see him instigate, and then he gets pushed back, and then all of a sudden he's like, and then they throw the flags, and I'm like, get them both. Like, you
Well,
know
they never
what? They
catch the
have
first
New York
guy.
for a reason. They can call upstairs. New York is watching the game. One on. Let's pay attention. Let's buzz down and say, hey, unsportsmanlike. Let's get those on there so that way you're not getting away with it the whole time. I get it, it's football and you push and shove, but there were some pretty sketchy things where I kind of understood why he's trying to get in the head of his opponent, but also like, hey, like I kind of lost a little bit of respect. Like, don't let's play the game. Like, just stop all the nonsense.
Well, you got to do everything that you can when you've got uh, that quarterback in. You got to do what you can to help him out. So maybe that was part of the game plan. I don't know. So if you are streaming the Giants defense, which I don't know why you would be, but you're going to want to put them out. Jabril Peppers is out for the season, ACL. That makes the Giants defense even worse. So it probably isn't affecting you having the Giants defense. But if you got Kansas City players, put them all in this week. Giants defense just got even worse. And we're going to talk a lot more Giants here. We got a question from Jason. He needs to drop one to add a defense. We're going to be talking about defenses in just a couple minutes, Jason. So stick around for that, which defense to try and grab. But he is either going to drop Geno, Mike Davis, Tony Pollard, Bateman, Latavius Murray, Hurts, Tannehill, and Russ Wilson. Okay, so these are all the guys that he has as a 2 QB league. Obviously, Russ isn't a factor because he's on IR, but you're not going to drop Russ there. So in a 2 QB league, so I'm guessing Hurts and Tannehill are going to be your current quarterback, so you got to keep them. You might. Well, I'm not going to tell you who to replace to replace them with. There might be a replacement out there. We're 2 QB leagues, so there's no replacements. So that means you either got to drop Murray, Bateman, Pollard, Davis, or Geno. Roop, who would you drop? You just need to drop one to get a defense. I think you've got plenty of drop options there. Go ahead, Roop. Give me yours. Give
Yeah,
Jason your
I
view
actually
there.
like everything you got going on here. You don't have to rush to get a defense right away. Like, there isn't the one, like, if Buffalo's still out there, drop somebody and grab them. We said it a couple weeks ago. pick him up. But I would drop Bateman. He's on bye this week. I would wait until Sunday morning and then drop him. Find a defense that you love and just go and grab one. Just because you can get Bateman back after the next week. So just don't try to do it over tonight. It doesn't need to be done unless you want the Thursday night defense if that's available, something that you want. But I would just wait to find your favorite defense and just wait to draw Bateman. That way you possibly can get him back if you really need him on the turnaround.
Yeah, I've got a couple defenses for you. Like I said, Jason, I'm going to hang on to Bateman myself because I think he has value. I know he's on bye week, and I don't want to fight for him later. I think Mike Davis, Geno or Mike Davis, I think both those guys could definitely be dropped without and not worried about getting picked up. I understand. I don't know how many teams you're dealing with. If this is, I'm guessing it's at least a 12 team league here. But I would drop Mike Davis in a heartbeat, probably Geno too. So either one of those guys, if it's me, we're going to have a running back ad for you coming up in just a second, actually. So you could replace Davis later on if you needed that running back, but I would drop Davis or Geno. For me, I'm keeping Bateman just because I don't want to fight for him later, but Roop, there it is, says you could do that. Looking at Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Dallas defense, currently have Carolina. Yeah, Carolina's defense is pretty much done. They've been exposed and found out. Not that you could use them in deeper leagues, but just the ones that you have there, all three of those guys, Cincinnati, Pitt, and Dallas, are all better to have than Carolina. So without putting Carolina down, it's just those other three are actually better. If you want to, we'll jump straight to defense real quick and cover that. Cincinnati's got the Jets this week, so Cincinnati's an automatic for me. Dallas's defense is playing lights out right now, so you could definitely take them as well. I would take either Cincinnati or Dallas, which are clearly available since you're asking the question. Cincinnati's defense is also balling out right now. If you want to hang on to the defense for a while, I'd probably take Dallas. But if you just need them for the week, I'd probably definitely look at Cincinnati versus the Jets this week.
Yeah, I like Cincinnati. They've been pretty. They're currently on my team. I suffered through this past week with them, and they still put up decent numbers because I knew they were playing the Jets this week. So that's why I held on to Cincinnati in one of my leagues. So I mean, I just like what they're doing. Pitt's coming off of a bye, so they're rested. There's something to look into there. Same with Dallas. I mean, they're all great picks. I think anything can happen.
Yeah, definitely. So, Jason, thank you for the question. Keep them coming if you got any more, and we'll answer all your questions. For anybody out there who's got one, just shoot it up there, and we'll cut right in and give you an answer right away. So, on running backs, I said I had a running back for you. It's the same running back as everybody is saying this running back is really the only running back out there, and that's Gainwell out of Philly. I'm personally not, unless it's a deep league, I'm not going to take Gainwell because Philly hasn't really committed to running the ball all year. Even when he came in, he got 5 carries, and he's also going to be splitting carries. So if you're going to take one in a deep league, Gainwell obviously is moving up to the starter, but he's going to be splitting carries. So that's up to you. Again, you probably got your running backs pretty set right now and probably just roll with what you got. Wide receivers, however, always rotating, always somebody out there. You brought up Jason brought up Bateman from Baltimore. He's looking good. I wasn't very hot on him last week. I wanted to see more information. I've seen more information. 6 targets each week. He's clearly being put in. He's producing, and so if during the bye week, if you have space, great time to grab him, so you don't really have to fight for him. Or if you're going to wait because you don't have the space, I look to pick up Bateman. They seem to be willing to use him. And I say 6 targets. Jameson Crowder has also had 6 targets last week. 2 different stories, but I think the idea there is that they're definitely Bateman is clearly the wide receiver 2 right now, especially with Watkins hurt. So Bateman, I think, is a good pickup. So to lead into my wide receivers, I have to bring up Daniel Jones. Look, the Giants have Kansas City, so anything you can play on the Giants, play him. Tony's still hurt. You want to keep an eye on Slayton. Slayton may be back. Galladay definitely might come back this week, and Shepard may be back. Slayton is going to be back. Slayton came back, played well. Slayton's going to be back versus Kansas City. Galladay may be back, so he's somebody you could grab. And if Shepard comes back, definitely look at grabbing that guy because they're playing Kansas City, and they have my QB2 this week, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones QB2 because they're playing against Kansas City. No other team except Washington has given up more points. 2 quarterbacks, and they've given up 8.6 yards versus the run. And of course, we know Daniel Jones is not afraid to tuck and go. So Daniel Jones QB2, QB1 coming up in a second. But what do you think about the Giants versus Kansas City and all these guys possibly coming back this week, Group?
If you can get something off of the Giants playing against Kansas City, Tennessee kind of exposed some things over there. I would like to see somebody really take the reins from Giants, but it's just the Giants are falling apart, not because they're a bad team, it's because the injuries are piling up. So all the number one guys are not getting, they're not playing. So they have other guys coming in, getting the number one reps. So they're kind of like just fitting all these puzzle pieces together. Might take them a little while to congeal. And I do want to try to, Mr. Gainwell that, we weren't really that high on. You're right, they're not running the ball. But he had 8 targets. 8. That's like a full workload in running back world. And he got 41 yards and a touchdown off those 8 targets. Sure, only caught 4 of them. But that's something in those deeper leagues, it's something to look at, especially if somebody goes down. If he starts taking over that number one job and he's getting the pass catching duties, that's something to look forward to. Told you to look at Pirine Samaje from Cincinnati. He did really well last week. Sure, it was the garbage time and it was the blowout. That's fine, but it's something you need to get for your backup if you have the room in those deeper leagues. And a little information: Joe Flacco.
Yeah, handcuff situation there.
Yeah, he was traded to the Jets. He might even start. They also like the guy currently there, Mike something. He did okay, but sorry, I don't know his name. He was not Mike White, I think it was. They immediately traded for Joe Flacco because he knows the system. I'm not saying run out and grab him. He's 0% owned. I mean, even Chad Henne's 0% owned. He might be taking over for Kansas City, but it's a Monday night game, so don't put any fab on these guys. Wait and see who's starting because Mahomes, it's a Monday night game. He might be able to come back. And I have one wide receiver for you because I'm not really a fan of any of them. Khalif Raymond, he is only owned 3% of the leagues, and he's actually doing pretty well. He's kind of like emerging as your guy there. I kind of like him. Like he's for a deeper league, of course, not anything like right away. So someone to keep an eye on. He does have a bye coming up, I believe. So temper the expectations because Detroit's having trouble finding their guy there, and he seems to be kind of rising lately, getting the targets. So just keep an eye out. These are just preliminary. Your bye week injuries. Just pay attention to them.
Yeah, because you're always, again, we're not, saying put these guys on your roster long term. Jones might get you a game or two. The Giants players, again, they're playing Kansas City, so the ones that actually play, and that's why you got to watch. Slayton is a good pickup because he is going to play, but Galladay may play, Shepard may play. You got to watch to see who's going to play. But anybody that's playing against Kansas City, obviously you want to put in, but you have to keep an eye on it. So you really don't need to spend fab money in this type of situation, at least not tonight. I will say now, this guy you should spend fab money on. This guy, I know people are looking to stream a quarterback to replace Jackson, maybe replace Carr for the bye week, and that's why I really like Jones at number 2. But my QB1, I brought him up last week. I picked him up. He did exactly what he's supposed to do. I expect him to keep doing it, and that's Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is getting over 20 points, fantasy points per game. He's got Tennessee next. He's got Jacksonville after that, and then he's got the Jets after that. Wentz can sit in your starting position, especially for the 2 QB leagues. Wentz should be on your roster, and he should be starting. The lineup is too good. He is performing. I know he's Carson Wentz, so just wait for him to get hurt, but ride him and grab those points every week you can until that happens. Carson Wentz is my waiver of the week, just like last week. If you don't have him for some, you're just wrong. Like he can definitely fill in for you. You better have a top stud in there if you're not playing Wentz.
I do like Wentz. He is on one of my teams at least. The problem with him is I have a question mark next to him because Patrick Mahomes didn't do much against Tennessee, which he should have. So he's still going to ride my bench this week, I believe, judging on how the week pans out. But I don't know why Patrick Mahomes couldn't put up huge numbers against Tennessee. So there's something happening there, or maybe Patrick Mahomes doesn't have it this year. I know that's really strange because he's like the almighty.
Yeah, Kansas City is struggling this year. And I don't know if it's the O-line or what, but Kansas City is definitely they're off track, and they are quicksand. They're trying to do anything they can, and they're just sinking faster and faster.
Yeah, it's actually become a big problem because the first couple shows we said, Super Bowl, who's it going to be in Kansas City? And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to go ahead and take that back. We're halfway through. I don't think Kansas City's going to be in the Super Bowl. Not this way.
Yeah, it's looking bad. They're gonna have to make some kind of monster comeback in, and their bye week is so late that they can't just like hope to turn it around after the bye. They got to do something and do something now, and it's just not working this year. But I mean, that's what happens. It's the NFL. That's how this stuff goes. I mean, you got the Rams just destroying people right now, and Kansas City can't win a game. If you're trying to replace Andrews or Waller this week, just to kind of stream somebody, I like Uzma from Cincinnati. He's putting together some games, 5 touchdowns over the last 4. Ali Cox also 4 touchdowns over the last 4. These aren't long-term streams. These guys are boom or bust every week, but they can help fill that role for you for this week until you can get Andrews and Waller back. Little contrarian, little what everybody's saying, but I mean, it's right. Just because everybody says it doesn't make it wrong. But that's what we do. We do the work to find out if it is wrong, to let you guys know if it's wrong, or if it actually makes sense. And Uzuma and Ali Cox make sense. Conklin, Minnesota's coming, is back off the bye, so don't forget those bye week players that may have gotten dropped. Some of those supporting guys. I definitely saw Madison dropped in quite a few leagues. So if you're looking for that handcuff, expect Cook's been playing injured. If you expect Cook possibly to go down again, and then you'll have Madison to fill that up. But Conklin also something to look at. Again, streaming defenses. Cincinnati's got the Jets this week, so that's a nice pickup for you. Still loving Callaway. Still loving T.Y. Hilton. I know he didn't play last week. I definitely got a couple people, you told me to pick him up. He's not going to play. I picked him up. I picked him up in multiple leagues. I understand he didn't play, but he's going to play. Excuse me. And he's going to hook up with QB1 Wentz there, and they're going to make some things happen. No to Lazard. No to Hardman. A lot of people saying Mecole Hardman. Look, in order for a receiver to be good, the quarterback's got to get him the ball. He's got one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he's not even getting him the ball, and he may not even be playing. And if he does play, he's probably not going to be 100%. Stop with Hardman, okay? Mecole Hardman hasn't done anything. I think he had one good week. Leave Hardman alone. Leave Lazard alone. Just because someone has a good week doesn't mean you pick him up. Hey, I picked up Kirk during the bye week, and I keep telling you guys, don't play Christian Kirk. Don't pick him up. You don't need him on a roster spot. But I've always said, unless you need someone to fill. And that's what I needed last week. That's what a lot of you guys needed last week. If you picked up Kirk, you definitely got some points off him, and kudos to you. Before we move on, I must take responsibility. Me especially, told you not to take Ernest Johnson from Cleveland last week, and Ernest Johnson put on a clinic and a show. And so, those of you who were smart enough or just painted in the corner and had to take him, congratulations. Hey, we're at almost 90% on our waiver wire picks. That means we're not 100, and that was definitely one we missed on. And I will definitely take the hit on that route. There it is.
Yeah, that one hurt a little bit. I knew he was good. I was just scared of the matchup, and you know what? I mean, even the coach was like, "Hey, he showed up and showed some grit." So hats off to him. He did wonderful,
Yeah.
and to have that deep of a running back room where they could pull that off, that's pretty special. That is on us, and you're not going to hit them every week. There's a reason why nobody is undefeated in all the leagues because somebody's going to mess up somewhere. But I do like CJ Uzoma. He is on my list this week. He just keeps getting the ball, and they're a high flying powerhouse of what do you call it? Like offensive domination. I mean, don't even get me started on Jamar Chase. Like Chase just
Yeah.
is driving me nuts right now. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, let's not talk about that because I dropped Jamar Chase to make room for my bye week pickups, thinking that he wasn't going to have a great. And so my opponent picked up Jamar Chase and scorched my butt. Yeah, that was a bad beat there. And that goes to show you, play your studs, guys. Play your studs. Rule number one in your start and sits, should I start them? Should play your studs. No matter what, if they're a stud, you play them. Doesn't matter the matchup. Doesn't matter what the defensive numbers say. Points over stats, guys. Play your studs. Perfect example right there. I got burned.
My lesson several times. So basically, Jamar Chase is getting an 85-yard touchdown every week, apparently. So whatever, good for him. Wish I had him on my team.
Yeah, it's going crazy.
I failed. There's only one thing that I have less to say on the
so do I.
is Robert Tonyan, tight end for Green Bay. You got to fill in that tight end spot. With Devontae Adams probably out.
Yeah, he's one of those schedule guys. Check the schedule, check the matchup. When you need him, you might be able to use him. You're not going to use him every week, but this could be a week that you might use him.
Robert Tonyan, Green Bay. I know he's got a tough matchup this week, but he might actually pull out some points because they're going to need him. And he had a great season last season. It's not like he's no longer good. This isn't a David Johnson scenario. But I feel like, if it's a filler, you got to get past this week. Got to put something there. You don't want a zero. You don't want to leave it empty. Your team nobody's team's that good. Well, maybe some in my leagues, but just try to fill it in because it will matter at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, we already talked about Adams and Lazard being out on COVID. Scantling might be able to come back. So that leaves you Scantling, Cobb, and you're definitely going to do those checkdowns to Tunyon. You're going to need them with Adams out. So, that's a great pickup right there. I like that one. I have no problem saying that I overlooked it, and that's a fantastic grab by Root. There it is to help you guys out because that's what we do. So without further ado, as we used to say back in my Army briefs, pending any further questions, and you guys send us your questions all that you can, it's time for College Chaos again. If you guys have questions about this week, if you have questions about Week 8, just interrupt us, shoot them in there. We're going to answer them. But until we get your questions, we're going to get into this College Chaos stuff. So leading into this, now you've already prefaced that College Chaos is going off the rails this week, and you could lose the beard based on what you've done. So what Roop, there it is, does every week is he likes to throw in some upsets, and these are not bets. He's not telling you to go bet put units on these guys or anything like that. He's just looking at the matchup and saying, you know what, I think this could be an upset, and he calls them out. So last week he called out he called for all the military folks to win, and all the military folks lost. Hey, that's what happens. We're ex-military. He's got love for the boys, and it just didn't work out. A couple of them close there for a bit. Maybe he could have pulled it off against Cincinnati, but it didn't happen.
So
Missed
close.
on the USC Notre Dame, missed big on that one. UCLA Oregon, tried to call that one upset. Again, real close, almost happened. Oregon once again squeaked it out. Clemson, I was with you on Clemson over Pitt, and somehow Pittsburgh. I mean, Clemson
Falling
is
apart.
this year is college football's Kansas City. It's just a head scratcher. You don't know what's going on over there. But he did get Miami over NC State, pulled that one, and did get Wisconsin over Purdue. So well done, sir. Nice job. I definitely did not agree with you on Wisconsin over Purdue. I did go with you on Miami over NC State, but well done. So let's get into this college chaos and let's let everybody off the hook and find out: will the beard stay or will it go? What are we doing here?
Oh yeah, I said Purdue was going to come into the welcome to the top 25 and out, and I just felt confident in it. And sorry Purdue, but that was going to happen. I wanted to, I think Wisconsin's on their way
There
up,
you
but
go.
I am thinking about I'm going to have to
For you
shave this
that are
beard.
just joining us, we're doing College Chaos right now. We do this every week. But if you have questions about Week 8, please ask them. And we're definitely we're NFL first in college, very, very close second. We've got a little time, so we like to talk some college ball at the end. But if you have questions about Week 8, just send them up and we're going to let them fly. Didn't mean to interrupt your route. There it is. I know there's a lag, but please carry on.
Yes, sir. So we have some upsets this week. I only have three because I'm not going for 2 for 8 again. I can't do that. It's just messing my numbers up. I think I'm like 9 for 21 or something total. It's getting pretty ugly, but it's for fun. I'm not putting money on these. It's just to get the fans a little upset. And first on the list, yeah, we have number 8, Michigan State upsets number 6, Michigan. Is that
That is correct. That is the correct pronunciation. Yes, you've done well.
okay? Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm just picking that one just for fun.
I like it. I
Um,
want to see it. I'm definitely hopping on board on this one. I've got your back on this. Anytime I can see the team from up north go down, it puts a smile on my face. OHIO go Buckeyes. Let's make that happen. I'm on board with that one. That's going to be a great game. That's probably got to
it,
be one of the games of the week right there. The that those are two great teams. They're playing great this year, and it's going to be a barn burner, I think.
yeah, I think College Game Day is there as well. I haven't really checked, but I think that's where they're supposed to go. But
Got to be.
it's gonna be a great game. So uh, I don't know, something about me tells that this is going to be the upset. Only maybe home field advantage. Maybe I don't know, the crowd will be into it. But the next one on my list, and I'm sorry, I keep picking them, and it's only because they don't belong in my eyes. Tulane is going to upset number 2, Cincinnati. That's why the beard's coming off right there. Just
The
whoops.
Cincinnati. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I mean, again, I want to see it because you're right. Cincinnati shouldn't be ranked number 2. It's not because they're not a great team. They are a great team. I fully expect Cincinnati to win out, to be honest. But if they win out, are they going to stay ranked in the top 4 with their schedule? One of the weaker. There's got to be the weakest schedule in probably the AP 25. I don't know. At least in the
Yeah.
top 10 for sure, they have the weakest schedule anybody there. So I mean, yeah, keep calling these upsets because you have to hope it's going to happen just so that we don't have to have this conversation at playoff time because it's not. I mean, this is one of those things. It's just not fair, and it's not fair to Cincinnati that that's their schedule. I understand that, but it's not fair.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about Cincinnati when they come to the Big 12. They'll actually probably get more respect and a better schedule. But right now, I've heard for years that schedule matters and blah, blah, blah. I've heard it for a half a decade of just all I hear is the schedule matters, and they just don't have it. They have a couple of good games, and Cincinnati's gonna be on my upset list again later when they play SMU. So I'm just saying it right now. Weeks ahead, no matter what happens. I mean, SMU is going to lose the quarterback. the running back, wide receivers, defense, doesn't matter. They're going to be back on it again because that's probably their hardest game coming up. And if you don't know who SMU is, that's because their schedule, Cincinnati's schedule, is not hard. That's why they keep ending up on my list, because they're going to. It's just, I don't know. It's college chaos. That's what happens. So for my final
So tell us about the beer. Why might you lose the beer?
Well, because there's going to be upset in Michigan. There's going to be an upset for Cincinnati. And my final one, the Florida Gators upset number 1 Georgia.
Yeah, I see what you did there. And so we're doing Florida over Georgia. That's what we're doing. We're doing Gators over Georgia. That's what we're doing.
Gator over Georgia, because talk is cheap, and I'm going with the beer. All 3 of them, or zip. I might just shave it by halftime.
So hold on. If all 3 of these games don't happen, you're going to shave the beer. So if even one goes, so Cincinnati beats Tulane, even though you got the 2 harder ones, if Cincinnati beats Tulane, you're still going to get rid of the beer.
1, 2, and 6 are going down. Zip. I might be shaving it by halftime. I don't know, but we'll see.
Wow. This is bigger than I thought.
Hey, it's chaos, man. Put these numbers up. They're rookie numbers.
Aurora asks Cup or Lamb. Let's see what we got here.
Always Cup.
So we've got the Rams versus Houston. But I'm definitely leaning towards Cup right now. And we have Dallas at Minnesota. Here's the thing. Dallas is playing in a dome, which is good for them. They're playing at night, which is good for them. The only drawback here is that they're not at home. Minnesota has been getting, squeezing in the sacks, but they've definitely been letting people go. So flip a coin. Honestly, I like to have my later players playing. If I'm doing that, I'm probably going to play Lamb, but I'm really bad at this start sit 'em stuff because I'll try to analyze it instead of playing my studs. Luckily, you have 2 studs there with Cup or Lamb. So, heck, is there a way to play them both? Who are you playing instead of Cup or Lamb? That would be my question. Why are you not playing both of them?
Probably a deeper league. I would actually say that Gallup is on his way back, and that's why I'm sketchy of Lamb. But Cup is number 1 in the league.
Non-factor, I think.
We don't sit our stars. We've learned this. I sat one of my stars, and I lost high points for the week. I lost money. I'm not sitting my number. Like, if your player has a 1 to 5 on the list right next to it of where their ranking is, and they're not in your lineup, listen, if they get 10 points, they get 10 points. Put your stars in the lineup. It just Cup has way too many targets to think about sitting. Put him in your lineup. And if he gets a bad day, he has a bad day. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, like I can make that argument for both of them. I would like to know why you can't play both of them though, Aurora. So if you could let us know that. Who you're playing instead of one of them, I'd like to know. Should you put Cooks on the bench then against the Rams? Yeah, I would. I mean, don't get me wrong, Cooks is a ball funnel, and if anybody's going to get anything in Houston, it's going to be Cooks. But I would for me, I put Cup and Lamb above Cooks, hands down, every day that ends in a Y. So with that list, Cooks is always going to be wide receiver 3 to me. So I would play Lamb and Cup ahead of Cooks. I would put Cooks on the bench. That's how I would play it. Roop, there it is. What do you think?
It's probably because, and I understand why, the lineup would be Cooper Kupp, DK Metcalf, Brandon Cooks, Cordell Patterson, CeeDee Lamb, and Stephon Diggs for wide receivers.
Yeah, but she's going to put someone on the bench, right? Kupp, Lamb, and Cooks are not all playing. So I think she's saying pick two out of Cup, Lamb, and Cooks, and I'm going to take Cup and Lamb.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably take Cup and Lamb as well, for sure. Especially since Cup and Lamb are gonna be playing indoors. And let's see, Brandon Cooks also, but he's playing the
Well,
Rams.
Cooks will be too because Cooks is going to be
Yeah, they're at home.
yeah
Yeah, I
yeah.
would I would go ahead and
I'm not
slide
playing. I'm
Cooks
not
off.
playing. Yeah, Cooks is going on the bench for me. I wonder if you two are playing each other this week, and this is
I
where,
hope
yeah,
not, please.
this is,
Yeah, definitely select Cooks if we're playing each other. Let me check.
yeah, just sit Lamb and Cup both. Just leave an empty roster spot because that's probably the smart.
Yeah, you don't need to play anybody. It's fine.
Yeah. All right, so we've got Root probably without a beard next week.
You know
Trying
what? I
to
might even
go
have to
three
cut my
for
hair
three
too.
on his upset. No, don't do that. No, that's going too far. That's going too far. That's
No,
no.
stamp it. It's happening. Upset college chaos. Let's go.
College chaos. That would definitely be chaos. I would love to see Georgia go down. Of course, I want the team up north to go down, and I do want. I mean, I want these upsets to happen. I actually don't want to see the beard go, but I'm guessing that there's been. I'm guessing there's more to this story. But you know what? Oh, I'm sorry, folks. We're out of time. We're not going to get to hear this story. No,
See,
look,
man.
guys, we have plenty of time. Welcome to the show. If you're joining us, if you have questions about week 8, all you got to do is ask. We're talking ads, we're talking drops, we're talking anything that you want to talk. Let us know. What are your questions for week 8? We got a few minutes left to answer them. If we run out of time and you want to email us, you can always uh, shoot us a comment on the Facebook page. You can talk to us through the Facebook group. And we love, love, love when you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel and ask us comments there. Hey, the group reached 100 tonight just before the show. We have 100 members in the Yards After the Catch Fantasy Football Show group. So thank you, everybody who helped us get to 100. Now, if we can get those 100 people to subscribe over to the YouTube channel, we would love that as well. We know a lot of you guys are, and we appreciate that as well. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully, we're helping you guys out. Hopefully, the fact that we do a lot of work to give you guys real players, real answers, and not just regurgitated information that everybody else is spitting out. I hope you guys appreciate that. I hope it's working for you the same way it's working for us. But if you have questions about week 8, let us know. That's what we're here for.
Yes, and you know what my favorite thing is you got to have fun, talk a little trash, especially when you beat your host, and have fun at all times because that's just what it's all about. So enjoy yourselves. Hopefully everybody gets a
Enjoy
win
it.
this week. Yeah, we need it. We need a win. We need a win this week. Let's go, everybody. Maybe not the beer.
We we really need to win this week because I'm giving out. You know what? I'm telling you, we've talked about this before, and it's happened time and time again. And I'm not saying this is the reason that I'm losing more games than I need to be losing across my leagues, but we've talked about how we give up all our secrets, and we're putting out the information, we're telling uh, people who to pick. We're almost 90% on waiver ads and drops. And what that's done is give my opponents the edge. And I see my opponents make the moves that I recommend. And it's definitely hurt me. It's definitely hurt me this year. I'm not going to stop because we're here for you guys and we want you guys to win. We're going to give you guys all the best information: Wentz, T.Y. Hilton, Callaway, etc. But yeah, it's definitely come back to bite me a few times.
Yeah, I looking at some of my lineups right now, I realized I failed some drafts and failed to pick up new people in week 1 and 2 when it really mattered to get
Yeah.
those first 3 weeks are important. And I said, you know what, my guy's going to turn out. They're going to turn out. They're going to turn out. Next thing you know, it's week 3, 4, 5, and waivers are getting slimmer. And I
And
sat on my
Devontae
team.
Smith still isn't coming through. I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, it happens. We just got to
Yeah.
try harder next year.
All Devontae Smith winners are all in the same boat. We all held on too long. Um, Still have him. Allen Robinson, another one that we just held on too long, hoping that Fields could make the turnaround, and it's definitely not going to happen. But you
Yeah,
know what? We have people to get rid of now. So when matchup heroes like Callaway and Hilton come along, Carson Wentz, we can grab those guys. If you're still hanging on to Sam Darnold, let him go. The run is over. Allen Robinson should already be off your roster. Devontae Smith, you can go ahead and get rid of him by now. You should not have Rondell Moore on your roster any longer. You should not have Hardman on your roster. Regardless, they're just not getting him the ball. Who else have we debunked? I don't know. There's been so many, and yet
Darnell
I can't
Mooney,
be
we've
coming.
talked about a lot,
Mike
and
Davis.
he's someone we've talked about, but the problem is quarterback play is not there. He's getting sacked too much. He doesn't
Yeah.
have any time. It's getting pretty ugly in Chicago, and I'm kind of shying away from the wide receivers right now. Tight end. I mean, running backs are okay.
Yeah, no,
You know,
definitely. I think anything in Chicago needs to go. If you have anything there, you could make an argument for the running game, but you got to keep an eye on it and see who's actually starting. Herbert's actually been doing very well. I do have him in one of my leagues. I was able to get him, and he's definitely helped out. So I would say maybe the running game because the quarterback play isn't there. But that's about all you can really go for out of Chicago. Other than that, it's a dumpster fire up there.
oh, the famous dumpster fire. Like, listen, I wish he would get his stuff together. He just hasn't. I mean, when you look at what he has to deal with and the times he's getting sacked, I mean, it's just not worth it to even play him. I'm not a fan of anything that's happening. Stay away. Stay away from Chicago right now.
Yeah.
Something something bad is not something's not working there. And I want to say that the quarterback is good, but the system isn't working. I don't know. It just they need to change, and I don't think it's the quarterback.
I'm the Ohio State fan in the country, and I said before he got drafted that I was very skeptical about the success he was going to have in the NFL. I was still excited to see him go to Chicago. The issue I have with him going to Chicago is the situation that he's in. He didn't have anybody to learn from. You knew he was going to get thrust in, and I don't think Fields came out of college NFL ready um, to the same caliber that someone like Lawrence did. Um, and Lawrence, they've only won one game, but if you look at his stats are pretty good for a rookie. You look at Peyton Manning, he threw 19 interceptions his rookie year, and everything he did. Not putting Lawrence and Manning in the same boat just yet, but simply making the contrast between Lawrence's play and Fields' play. And then Lawrence has to deal with essentially a rookie NFL coach as well. You can't argue against the difference in skill set currently. Fields could still be a great quarterback, but he needs to learn from somebody. Mac Jones happens to have probably the greatest NFL coach in history, and so he's kind of maybe an exception to the rule. But um, unless you have that Lawrence skill set, it's really hard to come in as a rookie and have success. It can be done. Mahomes, obviously did it. Allen did it. Or not Allen, Murray. Well, Allen as well, I guess. He didn't have the same same type of success until year two. But I mean, it can be done, but that means you're going to put Fields in the same caliber and the same skill set as Murray, as Allen, as Mahomes, and I just don't think that's fair.
Yeah, I think he just needs more power around him. He needs, your solid wide receiver. I mean, Allen Robinson should have been the number one guy, and he's distant right now. It doesn't make any sense. So he's forgotten about. He's not even on people's rosters. He's riding a bench, and it's the system. It's the wide receivers. I don't know what's going on there. He has some talent around him. It's failing right now. And I don't want to put it all on the offensive coordinator, but it's a little bit of offensive coordinator, a little bit of quarterback play, a little bit of offensive line, a little bit of wide receivers, tight ends. It's the whole situation going on. They need a bye week to just talk about it, sit down and I don't know, drink some tea and say, hey, what is going on here? Something. But maybe next year. Right now, it's just not looking good. Like you can't be getting. What do you get?
Yeah.
2 points. 2 points. That's not something you want in your
Yeah.
lineup as a quarterback. That's gonna hurt you big time.
It's bad. Well, hey guys, we appreciate everyone joining the show. We want to say again a big thank you so very much to our first 100 members at the Yards After the Catch Fantasy Football Show group on Facebook. We also have the page, and subscribe to us on YouTube. We love it. We love to have you guys there. We're growing the Facebook page. Let's grow the YouTube too. Why not? Roop may not have a beard next week. 3 deep upsets: Michigan State over Michigan, Tulane over Cincinnati, and Gators over Georgia. Pay attention to all 3 of those games. If even one of them goes down, the beard is gone. This is going to be interesting. I don't think I've seen you without a beard since our days in the Army, and that's a long time ago. So I hope it doesn't go. I hope you get the upsets, and I hope we get one more week with a beard. But it's going to be interesting to see you beard this next week. So thanks for coming out.
First quarter, halftime. I'll probably be like halfway through. I'm like, wait, they're coming back? No. We'll see.
You're going to start trying to glue it back on? Yeah.
If it looks funny next week, don't worry.
Yeah. What's the one people are doing now? They're making the big ring around their head. You're going to end up having to do that.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. That's not happening.
All right, guys. We appreciate everybody who joined us this week on Yards After the Catch. Look for us all week long. Hit the page, hit the group, subscribe to the YouTube. If you are on the group, if you're one of those 100, if you're not one of those 100, become 101. Get us over the 100 mark on the group page and come be part of the group and contribute. Comment, leave us questions, and catch us every week right here, Tuesday, 8:30 on the page, on the YouTube channel. Next week, we'll be coming with a lot more power as I'll be back in the home studio. And Roop, there it is. I hopefully have some better weather. Until then, you guys be safe out there. Have a great week. For the greatest co-host in all the land, Mr. Roop, there it is, at Mr. Football Today on Twitter. I am Chris Fox. This has been Yards After the Catch. We will see you guys next week. Keep yakking football, everybody.
See ya.